is up? What is good, guys, and everybody else? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Isekai. It's your boy Fulla, and we're back with a Critical Role, or let me say a Vox Machina related reaction. This is the story of Vox Machina Fansub. I'm pretty interested to see what this exactly is about. Maybe I can get to know a little bit more of the history, you know, of Critical Role and stuff like that, because I'm pretty sure this is like related to it, right? The history that we're going to learn here, or the story that we're going to learn here, is related to Critical Role. Unless I'm completely wrong, but I think I am right on this one. So yeah, anyways, I do not know anything else to say about this. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this reaction. If you do, please do leave a like, sub to the channel, and leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts were on this video. And yeah, let's go.
The grandest of adventures often stem from humble beginnings. The story of Vox Machina is one such a tale. They begin as a ragtag group of mercenaries in the swamp town of Stillben, eking out a living, when a job board posting brings them to Fendrel Voss, the wealthy head of a small merchant empire, hired to investigate new competition in town called the Myriad. The path eventually leads them into a chamber housing a planar rift, pulling the group into the plane of the stillborn god Chrysathul.
The what?
It is revealed that the contract was a ruse to feed the party to the
undead
fetal deity.
God damn!
On destroying the abomination, the party returns to repay Fendrel's deceit with a blade to the throat.
By the way, this art like fan created art?
And Grog the Barbarian hasn't been seen since suddenly leaving for the city of Westrun. Heading there in search of him, the party meets his childhood friend and their new companion, the gnome cleric, Pike.
Oh!
Grog apparently hasn't been acting normally, and had marched off on his own through the Bramblewood, towards the ominous mountain, Gatshadow.
So at this point, who was already in the party?
Dispensing with
apart from
roadside thieves along the way. And while
Pike and Grog not being in it yet.
Deep within, they encountered an abandoned subterranean city, and eventually, a crypt housing a mind-controlled Grog, the reanimated corpse of his father Strongjaw, and a dying mage attempting a ritual to lich him.
Damn!
Our hero slayed the mage, but not before he could complete the ritual and embed his phylactery into Grog's chest. Returning to town in search of aid, they find there are few of enough knowledge or power to ascertain the nature of Grog's rule.
Pike is there,
Also,
Vax and Vox are there,
rumors of missing children begin to reach the party.
Keithlin is there.
While contemplating all this at a local inn, the
I'm
party
guessing
is
that's
approached
Keith.
by a mysterious element
That's
who wishes to pay handsomely for the party to infiltrate an archmage's tower and retrieve a particular brass box within. Pushing forward in the hopes of speaking with this archmage, the party accepts and passes through
who the hell is that dragon dude?
trap to reach the top of the tower, deciding not to steal from the archmage, but instead parley with him for his aid. The tower's keeper, Realmseer Esculrine Darien, agrees to help and sends the party to collect 2 items he requires for the ritual.
I'm sorry, fam. I'll probably not remember most of the names of the characters that I'm hearing here, but
the caveat,
you know,
their defeated
I would have
foe
to
is
go through it
indeed a
again.
Lich now, and in merely 2 weeks, he will be reborn within Grog. They travel north to the Umbra Hills.
That's some alien
wrestle with
type
a
shit
small
right there,
cult
bro.
To slay their
Fuck.
infernal messenger and his nightmare steed.
Some face
And
hugger
find a
stuff.
fresh companion in Percy, newly freed from imprisonment. From there, the party rushes south to the
Newly
Frostweald,
freed, he looks
a
like he's
forest shrouded
in prison
in
still.
eternal winter. Battling past basilisks, the party finds a single unfrozen pool, where they coax a nymph from her dimensional sanctuary. Talking their way out of battle, Grog enters the sanctuary with the nymph, and returns holding a jewel gifted by the beautiful creature,
Alright,
the heart of the nymph.
alright.
Traveling back to the archmage,
I see you,
the
Grog.
ritual is
I see you.
complete and the phylactery destroyed in time. But not without some lingering necromancy branded within Grog.
Damn.
They are suddenly approached by the mysterious elf again, saying his master is unhappy with the broken contract. And he demands that either the debt be paid, or the party complete a more difficult contract in its place. The party accepts and heads into the Shade Barrow, an ancient druid burial chamber that was purchased and renovated by an eccentric lord who made it his own tomb. Fighting the denizens of the barrow, they locate the tomb, and the iron golem guarding it. Successfully defeating the golem, they tear the arcane cortex from its chest and return it to Dres to square their debt. After
At
a
this
bit of
point, had
R&R,
Percy already made his
clean-shaven
guns?
dwarf named Grimthorn propositions the group to enter
If he was
a
just
nearby underground
recently freed.
fighting ring, even offering to represent them. The party agrees and, not surprisingly, manages to pull off a victory. With the holiday of Winter's Crest arriving, the town bustles with preparation for a festival, during which a strange blue crystal is delivered in the name of Archmage Eskel. This crystal suddenly detonates, freezing the entire populace of Westron in ice.
Damn.
The party is protected by a sudden ally in the streets. In a last-ditch arcane effort, a mystic merchant named Noja manages to shield the group from harm.
Lucky, because they were
Where the
fucked.
crystal previously rested, now stood a pale, nude woman with white hair and frail physique. She opens a portal and leaps through, the party giving chase into what seems like an icy, frozen world, chaotic and elemental in nature. They catch up to the woman, who then reveals her true
Is that a
self,
dragon?
a great white dragon.
Ooh.
Weakened by her premature rebirth, the party manages to defeat her, and upon returning to Westron, discover its people released from their icy prison.
Oh, damn,
With the
okay.
Archmage Eskel Reindarian now on trial for the attack on Westron, the party intercedes and proves his innocence. In thanks, Eskel uses his talents to investigate the source of the blue crystal, revealing the powerful society of thieves, known as the Clasp, responsible for its
The
delivery.
clasp.
Vax,
I wonder if we'll get to
previously
see
been a member
those
of the
or meet
Clasp,
those
knows the main headquarters
or any
lies
of
within
these
the
characters
city of
that
Lemon.
we these new characters that we're
Vox
meeting
Machina sets out
in
for the west.
in
Upon
the other
arriving
seasons,
in
the coming
sprawling
seasons.
metropolis of Iman, the party continues to hear of children disappearing and reports of a black-haired, golden-eyed boy befriending them before they vanish. While investigating, they do a few odd jobs, one of which unexpectedly leads them to the home of Sildor, Vex and Vax's father,
Oh,
and his new wife and child.
new
On
wife
this
and child.
side,
What happened to
Sildor
the
is here
old
as
wife and
ambassador
child?
to
Oh,
Singapore,
sorry, what happened to
the
the old
elven
wife?
city of their origin, to seek aid from the sovereign Uriel Taldore. However, the political climate of Iman is tense, with a recent failed attempt on the royal family's life making Uriel unreachable at the moment.
I'm actually
Sildor's
surprised
connection
that
with
Vox
the
and Vax
council has
actually
now gone missing, and his
agreed
mission
to continue
stands
with
at
this
a
mission.
standstill.
Because
He
it seems
hires
like
the
they hate
pair
their
to
father
look
a
in on
lot.
this missing ally, Sir Gregory Fence, and get his ear back to Singorian business. Vox Machina finds Sir Gregory's home dark and still, pushing them to infiltrate and investigate. Within, they discover a dark presence in the home, leading them into a battle with demons in the basement. The battle won. Sir Gregory's tortured corpse is found,
Damn.
as are his notes about the attempted assassination on Uriel and his family. It seems that since the attempt, the royal family has grown strange and withdrawn, keeping Uriel from the council most hours, and his wife now demanding she attend all meetings, whispering in the sovereign's ear, and scoffing at the others who defy their decree. A General Krieg thwarted the attempt, and is mentioned often.
Is this how Uriel was supposed to look
Decides to
like?
inquire with him.
Because it does not look
On
like
their
the
way out
Uriel
of the
in
basement, half of the party falls into a trap,
in
tumbling
Vox
into a
Machina.
cistern and are flushed deep below into a subterranean river system. The trapped party members, Vex, Keyleth, Grog, Tiberius, and Percy, come to rest on a small island in the vast Crystalfin Lake, home to a terrible aboleth. Barely escaping, they eventually discover the base remnants of an ancient town long toppled, and a small hut that contains a clever hag named Trista. Tiberius finds
She
one
looks
of
shady
the
as hell, bro.
artifacts and makes a dangerous deal to acquire it. The party barters for information on how to escape, which Trista will give,
In exchange for
in exchange for their aid in slaying a newly nested denizen that threatens her work. The party agrees, climbing to the very top of the Crystalfin Cavern to do battle with an Umber Hulk. The fight goes south when Grog is tossed from the cavern's ceiling, nearly dying upon impact with the
Damn.
island. But victory is eventually theirs.
Returning, Trista shows them a hidden staircase that exits into the graveyard district of Iman.
The other members, Vax, Pike, and Scanlan, set out to find where their sister could have drained to. Scanlan leaves to seek out a map of the sewers. While Vax and Pike notice they are being followed through the town. Leading the pursuers into an alley, shadowed figures attack, eventually knocking them both out. Vax and Pike awaken within the Clasp's headquarters, meeting
Is this the dude who plays Grog?
Modeth. The Clasp had Sir Gregory's home under surveillance, as bad political stuff can be difficult for the way the Clasp does business. And when our heroes were spotted leaving, they had to be interrogated. Vax reveals his membership to the Clasp sect in Westrid, and Modeth calls for a test of their skills and intent. Pike and
Vax was a
then
member.
forced to
That's
do
pretty cool.
battle
Alright.
with a chained chimera in the Clasp's arena. Their might rings true, and the beast falls beneath their weapons. But Modeth is not convinced. While the two were held overnight, they managed to escape from the Clasp's lair, exiting into the night, and managing to locate the rest of the party in the graveyard district. Knowing their next step is to speak with General Krieg, Vax forges a letter of summons using Sir Gregory's handwriting.
General Krieg was the dude who we found out was the dragon, right?
Cloudtop district, the innermost area of the city and home to the Citrine garrison, as well as Amon's palace. Approaching the garrison, they have an audience with General Krieg, who seems nice and keenly interested upon learning of the Clasp's involvement.
I wonder if he is already plotting at this point in time.
Attack, and is sad about the death of Sir Gregory, but warns to leave the investigation to the officials.
Nope,
Vox
shady,
Machina
bro.
then
Shady.
heads to the palace to try their hand at speaking with Uriel, but entry is barred. They find another is being prevented from entering. A golden-haired woman in fancy blue robes who angrily stomps away from the palace doors. They engage her in conversation, and she reveals herself to be Allura Vysoren, a powerful arcanist and member of the Taldore Council. They discuss the state of things within the palace, how Uriel is a good and trusted man, but his actions and those of the Empress Salda are recently suspect. After 7 days of being kept from the council chambers, she's about to give up and leave. The party tells her of their findings, and Allura leads them to her tower within the district to further discuss the matter in private.
Within, Allura and the party make an alliance, and Keyleth aids her in performing a scrying ritual on the palace. The vision reveals that the family of Uriel, his wife, 2 daughters, and son, are all under the influence of some demonic force, and have addled the mind of their father, using him as a mouthpiece for their plot.
And here it also seems as if
The party
Uriel
decides
has
to pay a visit to the Clasp,
a smaller
using Vax
family
and Pike's
than
knowledge
in the
of nature,
series.
and
in the
enter
animation.
confrontation with spiraling Modeth
It seemed like he had
in
more
his
kids in the
chambers.
animation. I might be
The
wrong.
battle ends with Modeth's head on the floor, and 4 strange glowing crystals he had been keeping now stolen by the party. They attempt to leave, but are met by a host of Clasp members, and another dangerous-looking spireling. Through Scanlan's
What's a
death and
spireling?
coercion, the party is allowed to leave unharmed before their deeds are discovered. They return to Allura's tower, only to find the front
That's
door
the man
ajar,
right there,
the
bro.
interior tossed by some previous scuffle. As they reach the top of the tower, they investigate, finding signs of a struggle with a demonic entity, and Allura's escape seemingly successful. Unfortunately, a magical defense of the tower is triggered, and it begins to cave and crumble around them. Through some ingenuity and the discovery of a magic
Yo, they found a magic
the party
carpet.
manages to escape being crushed within.
We have to
Allura's
see that
ivory
in the
monolith
animation,
now
if they
compacted
kept it
into a
anyways.
single magical pearl. Our heroes then locate and enter the home of General Krieg, finding a brainwashed servant and a hidden passage that leads to a teleportation circle. Using the device, they are transported to a distant cavern, high in a range of frost-covered mountains. and an incredible hoard of gold.
Yeah,
jewels,
this is where the
trinkets.
anime. This is
Across the
oh.
room are 4 obsidian
Oh.
orbs placed within the rock. One is touched.
So the story's
Giant
kind of
eye
changed.
appears from within the black crystal. A voice erupts, calling for a brim scythe. And noticing the unfamiliar folk, mentions intruders. I
Yeah,
know
this
your
this
face
was
now.
definitely in the
He
animation.
is a fool, and so are you, insect. The orbs all crack.
Disrespect.
Becoming inert. Grog dives right in, rage looting the gold.
Rage
But the arrival
looting.
of the party seems to call the attention
Yo.
of General Krieg, who appears at the teleportation circle. He angrily denounces the party and reveals his true form, that of a frightening blue dragon.
The battle is difficult, with many an ally nearly devoured. But eventually, Vax strikes a mortal blow. Krieg, or Brimside, defiantly smashes
That was a
against
tough
the
battle,
platforms
fam.
of the cavern and his death ropes, causing the
There was a
chamber to
lot of
collapse,
luck involved
the
in that
party
one.
barely escaping via the teleportation circle. Leaving Krieg's home, Alora finds the party and warns that the evil that feeds on the throne is growing more bold. She herself was attacked shortly after the scrying was complete and barely escaped. As dark clouds fill the sky above Amon, the party decides the time to strike has come. Alora aids the party in infiltrating the palace, and they storm the throne room. Uriel sits upon his throne, surrounded by his creepily mannered possessed family. Vox Machina attacks, managing to banish the shadows from within their bodies. But the throne itself cracks in half as the dais below glows a deep red, summoning the entity behind the entire scheme. A devil prince called Jurazel, who tells the party of a great war between devils and demons spilling over into this plane, threatening all creation.
What's the difference
He
between
justifies
devils and
his
demons?
actions and notes all the demonic forces throughout the city, and tells them of the horrible devastation that will
That's
ensue
curious.
if the party stops
What's the difference?
They read him as honest, and Jurazel asks for their aid in destroying the demonic threat, offering a single wish should they make a pact. The party deliberates and agrees to the contract.
Yeah?
Thinking
Really?
over what they had just agreed to, the party returns to the throne room, asking for their wish to be provided to aid them in their demon hunting. Upon its casting, the party wishes to cancel their contract with the creature and attack.
Yeah, okay,
The Devil
makes
Prince
sense.
angrily reveals his true
Makes
form,
sense, because I was like,
a
wait,
hideous
what?
treachery demon,
Why?
Abrazu. A long, deadly, and epic confrontation ensues, one that suddenly claims the life of the gnomish cleric, Pike.
What?
Her death fresh in their minds, Vox Machina deals the killing blow,
What the fuck?
sending the demon to its unmaking.
What the fuck?
They
What?
gather up the cold body of their fallen friend and rush her to a nearby temple of Sarenrae, where her resurrection ritual is attempted and succeeds.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
The
What the
clouds disperse. The immediate danger.
Oh, wow.
But the royal family lies on the throne room floor, catatonic. Upon inspection, their souls are missing, and their bodies failing. The party recalls the 4 glowing orbs they recovered from the
Right.
class headquarters behind Moda,
Right.
now identified as soul jars. And through a rigorous, intense evening, all souls are successfully restored to the family. A few days pass, and Sovereign Uriel Taldore calls the party for audience. He thanks them all for their bravery, heroism, and for saving him, his family, and quite possibly all of Iman. As thanks, he offers them a place on the Taldore Council and informs them of his intent to throw another Winter's Crest Festival.
I see the
to make up for the
differences they
ones
made
ruined
with
westward here,
the
assassination
animation. With the
where they will
animation.
be celebrated as heroes. He has also commissioned the construction of a keep for them on the outskirts of Iman as a sign of his very deep gratitude. A week later, the festival begins. The populace is out in full force to meet and celebrate Vox Machina. But during the festivities, the party notices Uriel's son Gren speaking to another child. One with
It's the dude
black
with the
hair.
golden eyes, isn't it?
Golden eyes. They immediately spring to apprehend the child, but he escapes with Uriel's son.
Damn.
They give chase, following him into an alley and through a portal of some kind. The party finds themselves atop a large island, drifting through the astral plane, surrounded by a perilous bramble forest.
They fight their way through, eventually coming upon a Gothic mansion towards the center of the landmass. Within, the party makes their way to the inner library, where numerous kidnapped children are working all about the place, cleaning nervously. The Dread Emperor, as he calls himself, stands from his chair.
Bro,
The
does he have
child
them
illusions
chained
fading
to
into
him?
a golden armored man with long black hair. 4 children chained at the neck to his breastplate.
Bro!
He attacks the party with fierce magic, mind controlling all of his child servants to attack as well.
Oh, like, that's
With the
pretty
first
creative
blow
though,
dealt,
but fucked up.
They realize that damaging him also hurts the chained children.
Damn.
One boy accidentally falling in battle to Keyleth's magic. Eventually, they succeeded in destroying the Dread
That must be
and
heartbreaking,
returned
bro.
to Iman with a host of lost children, happily now found. 6 months of peace.
Damn, so that one kid
as their
just
new keep
dies.
is constructed, and the party scatters to their separate business until its completion. Upon their return, they assess their new abode with delight, naming it Grey Skull Keep.
Grey Skull Keep.
They then send out job inquiries, seeking guards for hire and servants. After
Any
an impromptu
particular
trial,
reason why they named
they
it the
settle
Grey
upon
Skull
their new
Keep?
hires.
That evening, the party receives a visitor in their friend Arcanist Allura of Isordan. She happily sits with the party for dinner and trades tales of their past months, before asking if she could hire their services for a matter of great personal importance. Allura's longtime friend and ally, Lady Kima of Vord, has gone missing, following a vision quest from her deity, the Platinum Dragon Bahamut. Her last letter spoke of an evil taking root beneath the dwarven city of Craghammer.
Wait, so some
Allura
dragons are
worries for
worshipped?
safety.
Is that what I'm getting?
While Allura is unable to go
Or is it just the
herself,
platinum dragons
she
that are
can
worshipped?
provide the proper paperwork for entry, and would pay handsomely if they could find, aid, and return with Kima. Vox Machina agrees to the new contract, and sets out for the city of Craghammer the very next day. As for the rest of their journey, the legend of Vox Machina is still being written.
Let's go. Alright, yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that thoroughly, honestly speaking. I did not think that it was going to be like connected to the first season, but I think somebody did mention that in the comments, and if you did, I'm sorry for forgetting. But yeah, it was very interesting to see how it was related to the first season and some of the differences that were there between the first season and this story, basically. I'm guessing that character, the dragonoid-looking character, right, who was in the party, I always forget his name because, well, he is not in the animation, is the one that they left out, right? So, yeah, pretty interesting. I still do not know the story about that. I was told, like, I could look it up, but I don't know. Maybe eventually. But I don't think it's that important anyways for the animation, so, you know. It was interesting to see how these people met each other, like how the whole group formed. Still curious how it actually began, because only Percy, who was it? Percy, Pike, and Grog. No. Percy and Pike were the ones that were not in the group initially, right? And then Grog went missing, and the group came to search for him, and then they met Pike, and then Pike joined, right? And then they met Percy later on. All right. So I'm still curious how, Grog and Vax and Vex and Scanlan, how they met each other and how the group itself formed. I don't know if there is a video out there that explains it. If there is, I would like to check it out. But yeah, the storyline I thought was great. I don't know if I would say that it was better. It would have been better if we saw it exactly how it was. But I also enjoyed the animation, and I felt that the animation was great before I watched this. So I don't know how you guys felt about it. The ones who already knew about the story, and when you were watching the animation, how did you feel about it? I'm pretty sure a lot of people did say that, you know, they were fine with it. It wasn't that much of a difference anyway. So, you know, pretty interesting to see the rest of your opinions on it. I think the difference was not that great. It would have been great to see, you know, some of the other stuff, but like the battle with the demon, right? Was it a demon or a devil? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the difference between the two? You know, but yeah, that it would have been interesting to see that fight. The fight with the Chimera would have been interesting as well. Same thing with the dude. The dude who was kidnapping the kids. That would have also been pretty interesting. But yeah, anyways, I enjoyed this a lot. I hope you enjoyed this reaction. If you did, please leave a like, sub to the channel, and leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts were on this video. And yeah,